Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here on the show, and not recording any NBA tonight. I've already done my NBA and NFL news. Might upload another one here in a few minutes after this, but so instead of any NBA, because I don't feel like recording any NBA games tonight, so instead, I'll do the college football playoff rankings. The first college football playoff ranking was released tonight, the top 25. So I want to talk about that, get my thoughts on it. Some interesting things in this top 25 ranking, I thought. So let me get into it. So starting at 25, we're going to go from 25 to 1. Air Force, only at 25, despite being at, I think, 17th in the AP poll with an 8-0 record. I think they should be above teams like Tulane, Kansas State, Oklahoma State. At least near the 22 range. I think even near like USC shouldn't even be in the top 25, honestly. Struggle to beat Cal. I mean, I would move Kansas up to 20. I would take USC out and have at least Air Force in that 21-ish range. At least in my opinion. But, whatever. Tulane at 24th, I believe the highest group of 5 team. I think Air Force should be ahead of Tulane. But maybe it's just me giving too much credit to Air Force and just rooting for them because it's undefeated group of 5 team. Kansas State at 23. They've started to figure things out recently. They got a big game coming up with Texas this weekend, which could really help them get up in those rankings. I didn't expect them to be a top 25 team this year, but they're there. They're ranked 25th now, and they're ranked 23rd in the college football playoff rankings. Oklahoma State ranked at 22. Oklahoma. Yeah, they're now ranked 22 in that college football playoff rankings, despite not being in the AP poll. They're now 6-2. Ollie Gordon from them has been amazing, man, this year. He has been excellent. Alan Bowman, solid quarterback. But Ollie Gordon's been fantastic this year. And that's gonna be interesting to see Oklahoma State throughout the year, how they are now after being now here in the top 25. Kansas at 21 after that win against Oklahoma puts them at number 21. And Kansas football's been on the rise the last few years, so it's good to see them in the top 25 here. USC at 20, way too high for USC. I guess they gotta make sure Caleb Williamson's name is still known somehow, but you cannot sit here and tell me USC is a top 25 team in these rankings. You can't sit here and tell me that. They barely squeaked by Cal, 50-49. You can't tell me they're a top 25 team. You can't. They are not a top 25 team. It's just wild USC's at 20. Can't believe they're even ranked. They should be unranked. And that's kind of generous for USC. So, yeah. But that's the top 20. That's 25 through 20. UCLA at 19. Utah drops to 18 after their loss. Out to Oregon. Tennessee moves up to 17 with their win against my Wildcats on Saturday. Oregon State only dropped to 16 after that loss to Arizona. Notre Dame at 15. LSU at 14. They're probably, out of the 2-loss teams, I think LSU's probably the best 2-loss team in the country. Louisville at 13. So, Louisville's looked pretty good this year. Besides that one loss to Pitt, they've had a really good year with the new coach they have. Missouri at 12, they have a big game coming up next weekend against Georgia, which is a big game for that Missouri football team. They haven't had a big of a game like this since, I don't know when their last big game was, but this is a big game against Georgia. I don't know if they're going to win this, but it's going to be tough, but they have a shot, I think. Penn State at 11, so that is 19 through 11 in these rankings. Now let's get to the top 10. Ole Miss ranked in the top 10, so I definitely didn't expect Ole Miss to be top 10 this year, but I think they can be a solidly top 10 team. They're coming off that win against Vandy. Their next game is against Texas A&M, and then at Georgia, which is a big game for Ole Miss, which is their last big opportunity to try and impress people. Oklahoma ranked at 9, coming off their loss to Kansas on the road. Alabama at 8, Texas at 7, Oregon at 6, Washington at 5 because they beat Oregon head-to-head. Florida State at 4. This is your top 4. So that was 10 through 5. And here's your top 4. Florida State at 4, Michigan at 3, Georgia at 2, Ohio State at 1. I would put Georgia at number 1 just to give them the benefit of the doubt because they're back-to-back champions. They haven't looked like the best team the first few weeks, but they've looked like the best team in the country the last few weeks. Destroying my Wildcats, they destroyed Florida. I think they're the best team over Ohio State. Ohio State probably has the more impressive resume because they beat Penn State, who's ranked, beat Wisconsin, beat Wisconsin on the road. But besides the Penn State win, they haven't been impressive. That impressive. Because Kyle McCord's kind of just mid. I would switch 1 and 2. I'd have Ohio State. I'd have Ohio State 2, Georgia at 1. A lot of things few things I would change here. I'd have Air Force higher in these rankings. I would have USC out the top 25. A few changes, but overall solid rankings. Yeah, those are my college football playoff reaction rankings, I guess. So, next time I Peace.